Hi, Rodrigo from DJ-XZ. Today we are reviewing the Pioneer DJ XDJ-XZ media player that came out quite a while ago. It actually came out late 2019, before this whole world-changing event. It came out in a world where mobile DJing, professional DJing, club DJing was the most normal thing of the world. Nobody expected it would ever change. And today we are in a world where we hope these things will soon come back. And when they come, you will want to have something like this for your mobile DJing gigs. Just to get started off, this is a big media player. It's the biggest media player that Pioneer DJ has ever brought. It's not the biggest controller Pioneer DJ has ever brought, because Pioneer DJ has brought really pretty big controllers in the last few years. But this is a media player, meaning it can do standalone stuff. So you don't need a computer connected to it. However, you can plug in Recordbox DJ and you can plug in Serato DJ into this beast, and it can act as a controller for both of those software solutions. But here in this review, we're going to look at it from a standalone point of view. And right away, I just want to pick the things that people will be nitpicking about. So the things that people will be saying, okay, this is not the first review of this controller. I realize there is a lot out there already by this time this review comes out. But I want to just place it in the current times, 2021, where we are today. And okay, so to let you know, if you're considering a media player, you're considering to get ready for when everything comes back. If you're looking at this by the time it comes out, maybe everything is already starting to come back, at least in some countries in Europe and in the world. But the thing is, if you're shopping for a professional media player, is this still a worthy contender? Considering, as I said, that there are other brands that have stuff that is technologically more advanced than this. First of all, let's get the bad stuff out of the way. Yes, this is a 4-channel controller, as you can see, but yes, this can only do 2 channels when it's standalone. So you don't have the possibility to have 4-channel standalone playing or 4 channels usage when you are playing from USB. There is a reason, there are several reasons for that. One of them, for example, at the screen is probably too small to cater for 4 waveforms at the same time. Is that a problem? Well, yes and no. We'll go into that later. It's something that is not there. You do have the 4 channels and you can assign channels 3 and 4 to external gear such as CDJ. So you can have a 4-channel standalone setup, but you need to add 2 decks. When you are in Recordbox or Serato DJ Pro mode, however, you can use the 4 channels in virtual mode. So that's totally possible. That's one thing. The second thing is that the screen is pretty small. It's pretty limited compared to some competitor screens. And those are the two really, for me, the negative things. The positive things, and those are big ones, is that this is basically 2 CDJs, 1 DJM mixer with almost all the features of a very high-spec professional DJM mixer, pick any model out there, and latest CDJ technology crammed into one unit that costs around $2,000 or 2,000 euros. For that price, you get basically one CDJ. That's what you get for that price. So if you're looking for a package that brings you the experience and more than that, the standing, because you know, you can say all you want. I don't care about how it looks. I can play on anything. But if you're a mobile DJ, you have a reputation to maintain and you're asking a serious kind of money for your performance, then you want to look the part. And this looks the part for 1/3 of the price, basically, of a full CDJ DJM setup. So that's pretty important. And it does almost the same thing with some added stuff. For example, you have performance pads on your decks, which you don't have, not even on the CDJ 3000s that came quite a while after this. You have performance pads and you have a lot of mobile DJ stuff that I will go into that is really great. So although it's not as equipped as some of the competition offers, it has a lot to offer for the price. So if you compare it within the Pioneer DJ ecosystem, it's bang for the buck. Also, if you are considering a media player and you are somebody who has your library in Rekordbox, well, basically, if you want to stay in the Rekordbox system, you don't want to go to some other software solution, you are kind of forced into this. And you know, the Pioneer DJ ecosystem is a pretty good ecosystem to be in. If you are playing in different clubs and you're bringing on your memory sticks or you're connecting your laptop to different setups, chances are you're going to bump into Pioneer DJ gear. So staying in that environment is also a good idea if you are already in that environment, of course. So that's also another reason why I think this is a very interesting unit. And it just looks pretty damn cool. Even if the screen is not the latest technology, the Jog Wheels are pretty great. I mean, look at them. They have a lot of information on those LCD screens. You have art, you have the BPM, you have the time remaining, you have the needle. It's a lot of stuff that's crammed in there, and it's a visual information to help you play. So, okay, so let's go into the details. I will start with the decks. I will start with the left deck, move to the right deck. The top stuff is actually linked to the mixer, so I'm going to review the left and the top part of the player together with the mixer features. Now let's look at the decks first. So let's start with the Jogs. The Jogs are full-sized Pioneer DJ, CDJ-like Jogs with that beautiful center screen that you know from the Pioneer DJ DJJ-800 and the DJJ-1000, for example, are basically the same, and they offer you advanced information. They also offer this mechanical feel that really feels good, really feels solid, and they are, of course, solidly built. They are high quality Jog Wheels. They're not cheaper or don't feel cheaper than the CDJ Jog Wheels. To me, they feel pretty much the same as those Jogs. You have a lot of adjustment possibilities. So you have a jog adjust where you can adjust the tension, and that's ideal for backspins. So you have long or short backspins that you can do, and generally for different purposes you can adjust the tension, and you can do whatever you want there. So that's pretty cool. You also have the vinyl speed adjust that allows you to control the speed in which the track stops. And those are all cool features from the advanced versions or the more expensive CDJ versions that are migrated here. You have also the loop buttons that are classical Pioneer DJ that you can use, and you also have an automatic 4-beat loop that you can reduce in size by pushing the button. You have a slip button, always nice to have a slip button, physical slip button. Allows you to do cool stuff. And then the reverse button can be just a reverse button, of course, or you can use it as a sensor button. And you press it, it blanks out that part of the track you don't want to be heard, then it just moves on. Shift button, track search, and the search button in the track. Pretty nice as well. And then you have the performance pads that are really nice performance pads. They are not full backlit RGB lit performance pads, but they are pretty nice in feeling. They are qualitative, not as good as some more advanced controllers, mind you, but they are good. And what do you have here? You have the hot cues, slip mode, the hot cues, the beat loop, sleep loop, and beat chunk. Next, also a very wide tempo fader with a tempo reset button, master tempo, the tempo selector from 6, 10, 16 to wide, beat sync. I already talked about the jog adjust, and that's basically really quickly an overview of the deck. In the center screen of the jog wheel, as I said, you get all that nice, very well clear information with a compact waveform as well. And of course, knowing that everything is up there, you don't really need much more information here because it's all on the screen. So that's very high level view of our deck. So the screen options. So you have the possibility to link up Rekordbox, as I already said, or use HID to link up also your library on your computer, or use USB 1 or 2 for tracks. So once you connect your USB 1 here, for example, you can browse like you could do in any other CDJ situation and load a track directly from here, and it will tell you, it will ask you where you want to load the track up to. Let's go back. You can do that for both USBs, of course. You have also a tag list where your tag tracks are stored. You also have an info panel. You can see all the details of a track. And you also have a menu utility where you have all the options connected to that menu. So, for example, if I hit the menu here on this screen, I can do the sorting in all different kinds of ways. That's pretty interesting. You have those physical buttons that are quite interesting to have. The back, the tag track remove, the track filter, and the shortcut. Back is of course what it is. Tag track is to remove or to tag a track when you're in the tag list. So for example, if I am here, I can tag the track or remove the tagging. I also have the track filter. I can filter tracks and I can select which options I want to use to filter those tracks. If I hard press on browse, I can also select tracks by using the touch screen, which is pretty neat. And I also have a shortcut button that allows me to switch between different things. For example, the waveform color. If I want to select a specific waveform color, I can select it from here, and I can select a few other options as well on load, unlock. So some shortcut things that are nice to have at hand that you can select from, and you have different ones that you can select from. On the main screen with the waveforms, of course, you can use the browse button to resize or zoom in or zoom out of your waveforms. And depending if you have needle lock on or off, you can actually browse to your track from here. Here, for example, I have needle lock on. The last thing is the utility menu, that you hard press on the menu and you access the utility menu, and you can really go through a lot of options in the player, a lot of things that you can activate, deactivate, or change the setting for. And it's all right here available from the menu button. You have two load buttons. Of course, this corresponds to the fact that you can only use 2 channels when you are in USB mode. You can load your tracks. Last thing to say about the layout is that you have the small detailed per deck view with your small waveform and all your track metadata, and then you have your big waveforms that you can, as I already showed, you can switch or vary in between RGB waveforms or just the blue classical waveforms from Pioneer DJ. So that's basically the screen. And then quickly an overview of the mixer. As I already explained a little bit, it's a 4-channel mixer. 2 channels are available when playing out of a USB. 4 channels, the full experience when you are connected to a computer and use this as a controller for virtual channels. Or when you have gear connected, you can connect it through channel 3 and 4 and select the input right here. You have an aux knob as well, or an aux channel also where you can connect stuff to, and you have 4 color effects that you can control from this section, and you can basically use them to spice up your sound. You have space, dub echo, sweep, noise, crush, and filter. And for example, what I do like is that that you have the parameter effect. So if you activate the effect, you can actually decide on the amount of effect you want to put on it. That's pretty cool. The other color effects are pretty cool as well. You have a space filter, a dub echo, a sweep, a noise, a crush, and a regular filter, and always that parameter button, as I said, that allows you to control the amount of effect. You have also the headphone input. The headphone controls the mix and the headphone level. That's right here. On the mixer itself, you have trim knobs, you have 3-band EQs, and you have the color button, Q, line, fader, and the cross fader. And on the right side, you have the beat FX section, which is pretty cool because you have the X-pad, you have the FX frequency, your effect selector, your channel selector, and all those things really belong to what I would call even a much more expensive setup. What I would, you know, it's straight out of the DJM Nexus, DJM 900 Nexus 2, and it gives you a lot of bang for your buck, if you want to put it like that. So how does it work? You have the beat FX, the X-pad, where you select the beat to be applied to the effect. For example, let's put half a beat, and then we apply an echo, for example. And the cool thing is that you can select to apply it on low, mid, high, all together, or any combination of those. With the X-pad you can easily switch between the available beats. You can also do it with the buttons. And they are post fader, so if you jam your fader down, they will continue to play. So it's a really nice setup, and I mean, I think the low, mid, high option is pretty cool. The FX frequency, because it allows you really to play around with the frequency on which you apply the effect, and that's sometimes crucial to have a good blend between a mix or where you don't want to apply too heavy of an effect. That's pretty cool. So apart from that, you also have a time that you can set for your effect, and that's important more than for other effects, the ones that are less linked to beats, because there are a few here that are less linked to beats, of course. And the level or depth of the effect is also controllable. So very classical, very professional layout here. I also want to talk about the microphone inputs. You have two separate inputs, which each own their own level, their own EQ, and a nice feedback reducer feature as well that you can activate and deactivate. So when your mixer giving you feedback, you can use this feature to try to reduce the feedback as much as possible, and apparently it works pretty well. And on the other side, you have the master section with the master level, the master view, master Q, booth level, and also a nice master EQ, which allows you to equalize the entire master channel in one go without having to touch your individual channel EQs, which can be extremely handy and useful for certain venues. So it's pretty good to have that as well here. And on the right side corner, you have the USB options. You can use two USBs, and in this case I am using one USB to record this one and one USB to play music from, which is all pretty cool. No SD cards, no hard disks. Sorry, that's not in here. Again, as I said in the beginning, some competitors have technologically more advanced offerings, but as you can see, and if you keep the price in the back of your mind, and I'm adding features, master EQ, X-pad, FX frequency, full effect suite, 6 color effects with parameter control. It goes on, and you keep that price in mind, you start to realize how good of a deal this is, even if it's not the latest top technology that you have crammed in here. It's a pretty good deal, and I stick by that. That's for me. I don't care what you say. you got it from Pioneer, so you're, no, it's really what I think. It's really what I think. So let's look at inputs and outputs, because mobile DJs, professional DJs, they want inputs and they want outputs, of course. So on the back of the XDJ-XZ, we have, first of all, extension channel 3 and channel 4 to connect additional CDJs, additional units directly through the Pro DJ link. You have the USB for your computer, you have balanced booth out, you have the Master 1 in XLR, and you have also the Master 2 in RCA, and an unbalanced send. You have the signal grounding, and then you have the inputs for your channel 4 or channel 3 and your auxiliary, where you can plug in a turntable or a CDJ or another media player directly into it. Lastly, you have balanced inputs for mic 1 and microphone 1 and microphone 2, and your AC input as well. So quite the amount of inputs and outputs, what you would expect on an expensive media player. It's all there and more than what you can expect. Especially the Pro DJ Link is pretty cool if you want to hook up other Pioneer DJ equipment and expand your setup and have 4 channels directly controlled by the mixer here. So, conclusions. I think you got my drift when I say that I understand, and I'm not afraid to say that this is not the most technological advanced media player out there. There are more advanced options out there with more features, more bling, even for a lesser price. So yes, those are out there, but considering the brands, considering the Pioneer DJ ecosystem, Rekordbox, Serato DJ Pro, considering the features that it has compared to more expensive Pioneer DJ gear and standalone professional DJ gear that gives you almost the same value, but for 3 times the price, I think that I can safely say this is a sure thing when considering a new media player. Yes, the 2 channels are a bit deceiving, that you can only use 2 channels instead of 4 in standalone mode. People will be surprised by that when they are shopping and trying them out and they don't follow blogs like this. They will say, oh my god, but it's 4 channels, why can't I use them when I'm with a USB? Doesn't make any sense to me. And I understand that, but that's one of the limitations. And the good thing is, if you buy this and you say later on, hey, you know what, I'm absolutely into this and it's working, I've got work, I have clients, I have demands, I need another player, just slap on 1 player to it, you connect it. If you have a Pioneer player that supports Pro DJ Link, you just plug it in with an Ethernet cable, and you have all the features that you can use with the mixer, with your independent screen, and you start to build a really professional, really advanced setup. So that's for me also a big advantage. I haven't tested in this review Rekordbox or Serato DJ Pro, but we are well beyond the release date, so you can assume, and if you want to use it with Rekordbox DJ especially, or with Serato, the integration is pretty good, so you can safely go ahead and buy these if you mean to use it primarily with an integrated, with a software solution, which, you know, it's not the ideal way of using it. I mean, this is built to be used standalone. So if you're only going to use it with a controller solution as a controller, you better look for a controller, then that makes more sense. Anyway, the Pioneer XDJ-XZ is a fine media player at a good price. Put into context, I say that it's important, put into context of the Pioneer DJ ecosystem and the own players that they offer in other areas. It's a very good offer. It's very interesting. If you are shopping for a media player, just don't discard it right out of the bat because it doesn't have this or it doesn't have that. Just consider it within the Pioneer DJ ecosystem, compare it to other Pioneer DJ gear, and see if you really want to go for Pioneer, because that's what you want to work in that ecosystem. This is a piece of gear that really makes sense. I hope you liked this review. I hope you enjoyed the review, that it helped you to make your decision, because that's the point of these reviews. And if you have any comments to give, just give them in the comments, of course. If you liked it, just hit the like button. If you stumbled on this review, you haven't subscribed yet to my channel, Please do subscribe, hit the notification bell so you get notified when I put up new videos. Thank you for checking this out, and I see you next time. Bye.